Okay, well, good evening. Tonight, our Montgomery Amateur Radio Club, located here in Montgomery County, Maryland, is pleased to present a member of our club, Emory Haynes, WM3M, who will talk to us about the Maryland Military Auxiliary Radio Service Incorporated, of which he is the president. This wonderful organization has donated generously toward the modernization of our 2-meter repeater system, and we're very appreciative. Thank you for that, Emory. Emory is also the Air Force Mars Group Commander for Maryland, Delaware, and DC. So here to tell us more about the terrific work of his organization and how we can help is Emory WM3M. Thanks so much, Emory, for joining us tonight and for your generous support of our club. So now it's over to you.
All right, does everybody see the slides?
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, is that good?
Yes.
All right, as Alex said, I'm going to give a briefing on the MMARSI.org. One of the things I like to say in the beginning of this briefing is that, the reasons why you might be interested in MMARSI. MMARSI does several things. First of all, we give away money, and obviously the club knows that. We give away money in support of emergency communications. Excuse me if I lose my voice, I've got a cold. I caught it from my grandson. So the other thing we do is we have an auction site, and that's how we raise our money. We take in donations, and we have an auction site that we sell all kinds of stuff. We try to concentrate on electronic equipment, amateur radio equipment, and so forth, but we get donations of all kinds. So we accept anything, and it'll end up on the auction. The other thing we do is about the auction, our prices are very, very reasonable. So if you're interested in looking for some stuff, we have all kinds of things. As I said, our prices are reasonable and very, very fair. And the other thing is, once we go through donations, if we don't sell it, we end up giving it away. We have a free area, so anybody can claim it. The only restriction on the free items is that we don't ship them; they have to be picked up. Pretty much, I covered most of this already. I'll give some examples of our auction in a couple slides here. We have a good selection, reasonable prices, and everything we take in goes towards funding emergency communications. We are all volunteers. Everything is done for free. So every penny we take in goes towards that, and it's something that our members spend a lot of time doing, and put a lot of effort into. The other thing that MMARSI does is for the MMARSI members, we will sell an estate. If the MMARSI member passes away, we will take, like if there's a spouse remaining, we will take that and post it on the auction and sell it at no cost. All the benefits go to the remaining spouse or the estate. For non-MMARSI members, we will also do that for an SK. We will take the stuff in, but normally we'll charge, we assess 20% fee for non-MMARSI members. So and we have done that several times. Our original founder, I don't know if anybody knows, Dave Smith was the original founder of MMARSI. He passed away several years ago, and he, like most of us, had lots of equipment, and we sold it all and donated it all to his wife, and that helps out a lot in situations like that. Well, as I said, MMARSI is all volunteers. The reason for the name Mars, when MMARSI was originally conceived about 10 years ago, it was all Mars members, mostly Army Mars members. And since then, we've expanded it. We've expanded MMARSI, and the only stipulation basically is, actually anybody can join MMARSI, but all of the members are ham radio operators. About half the members are MARS members. The other half are amateur radio operators. So it's open to anybody that wants to join. You know, our focus, as I said, is emergency communications. We have one of the things we've done several years ago. We established a set of repeaters for. They're now licensed under me under Air Force MARS. We have 3 of those located throughout Maryland. One of them's on top of the NRC building, I think, with some of the MARC equipment. We have another one in Fort Meade and another one at Cascade, which is up on the north part of Maryland near the Pennsylvania border. And those are for supporting MARS, both Air Force and Army MARS. We also shares. I think most people know what shares is, but shares came to us and asked us if they could use the repeaters for backup in case of emergency, and they also use our repeaters. We are a 501c3 chartered in Maryland and with the IRS. And most of this I've already kind of got ahead of myself, but I've said this pretty much. We primarily focus on emergency communications for our donations and things we support, things like RACES, ARES, obviously MARS we support, and ham radio. In the nature of ham radio is to support emergency comms. So in all cases, we'll support ham radio clubs, members, and whatever. This is our statement. I think I've mentioned all this already. Here's the members, the officers, excuse me. Some of these people you might know. Some of you might know Jerry Johnson. He was the owner of the ham radio store in Laurel for a long time. And right now he's our acting secretary. He's previous president. Some of you might know Gary Hendrickson. He's at all the ham fests. This is our officers and our board members. When we get the equipment donated to us, so the equipment, usually we try to test it. If it's electronic equipment, we do our best to test it, make sure it works. In some cases, we can't test it, but we'll indicate that on the auction. We do the SK, the selling of their estate items. We accept requests for donations from like ham radio clubs, different county and state organizations. We have equipment installed at the MEMA, the Maryland Emergency Management Agency. We support various county activities, county hospitals. And I'll have a list of some of those here in a second. Our auction site is marsi.org. If you haven't gone there and looked at it, please do. Like I said, we have some pretty good deals there. Everything is done by email. You send in an email for an item that's auctioned. We have a buy it now section where there's clearance items that we leave there for a while if they haven't sold on an auction, or sometimes we get donations of a large number of items, and we'll put that on the buy it now. Like some of the local ham radio stores will donate stuff to us, and there's a large supply of things, so we'll put stuff like that there. We also have a place for to sell things, so members and or other hams can we post things for sale. We ask if give a 10% donation, but that's not required. And then the free box, once an item goes through we have several sections in the auction. Members get first crack, and then it then moves to a general auction, and if it doesn't sell in the general auction, then we'll put it on what we call the free box, and whoever wants to claim it claims it. And we pretty much move just about everything. The only stipulation on bids is that coming in on the auction, it's in the US only. we don't do any foreign sales. We also, most of our items are paid for via PayPal. We have accounts set up with PayPal, so items coming in that, the bids come in and then we, get PayPal, or you can pay cash if you want to come and pick something up. And then we request payment for shipping. Once an item is sold, then the individual who buys it pays for the shipping, and normally that's done also through PayPal. Some of the key donors that we've had recently, these are just very recent. Most of you probably know Bob, WB4APR. He's donated lots of stuff to us this year. We've had, I guess, probably because of Bob, some of the biggest year yet in donations. And he's had some very nice equipment. Most of that equipment now has been sold, but he was a big help to us. LDG, the antenna tuner organization or company, excuse me. He's made several donations to us. He's here in Southern Maryland. He's donated HTs. He buys and tests equipment. He'll buy he bought several FT991As and used them to testing for his tuners, and then he donated them to us so we could sell them. So, and he's also given us cash donations. Probably the most of the donations we get are from individuals. We get stuff from all kinds of hams throughout the area. Most of it's reasonably local, Maryland, Virginia, some Pennsylvania. And then radio stores, electronic stores, they know about us. We make contact with them, and they'll give us stuff for donations if they're getting rid of their stock. There's a couple places in Montgomery County whose names escape me right at this second, but they've given us a lot of stuff over the years: repeaters, antenna connectors, and all that stuff ends up on our auction. Some of the donations we made recently, and this is just some examples. Obviously, most of you know about the first one on the top there. We've done Pactor modems for Clark County, the EOC in Clark County. WM3M-10, which probably a lot of you know about. Most of that equipment is equipment. Actually, it's still owned by MMARSI and put together mostly by me, and then that equipment is supplied there. We're getting ready to upgrade that. We've got a new computer and some other new things. And one thing that I might just while I'm thinking about that is that we have the capability to do an RMS on 70 centimeters. So that's a little bit of an effort for us. But if, once at the end, if anybody has any suggestions about whether, a 70 centimeter RMS will be worthwhile at the WM3M location, let me know. It requires additional antenna, additional radio, but we've been considering doing that. I mentioned the 3 Air Force Mars repeaters in Maryland. We give out cash donations, obviously, as you know, donations to Carroll County Races, Kent County Amateur Radio Club, the Antietam Amateur Radio Club. And one thing I didn't get on this slide, we just in the last few days had approved. We've been trying to establish scholarship fund through the AARLL Scholarship Foundation, and we just did that. We just got that approved. In fact, we haven't sent the money yet, but we're going to have for next year. Most of you probably see the scholarships in QST. It was a couple months ago, and we'll have two $2,000 scholarships sponsored by MMARSI in 2022. So that's the newest item that didn't get on my slide. I won't go through these. Most of these I've mentioned. These are the auction policies. Like I said, no international sales. If we sell something, somebody buys something in Maryland, we're obligated to charge 6% tax, sales tax. If items are sold in another state, we don't charge the tax. Obviously, there's no warranty. You buy it as is. Like I mentioned, PayPal. And towards the end, I'll have some email addresses if you have any questions or whatever.
Safety.
We have.
The left just wants to get.
I'm sorry. Let's see. We have several warehouses, what we call warehouses. I store a lot of stuff here. Several of the other members store stuff, and that's usually where the items are stored and shipped from. Each of us, has our own process of shipping and mailing items that are sold. Here's just a quick view of what the auction site looks like. Again, it's marsi.org. And we do get some pretty decent items on occasion. So one thing I like to mention is I bought a FT3D recently off the auction, and then, brand new, never used. It was $150. So, we do have some pretty decent deals at times. Some of the things we're working on, we did link all the Air Force Mars repeaters. Our repeaters are linked via RF. That equipment and the picture that you see there, that equipment is located at the Maryland Emergency Management Agency. Those projects now are complete. They're working, and the repeaters, up and working fine. If you want to donate, probably the simplest thing to do, if you have something that you don't know what to do with, or you don't want to mess with trying to sell it, just let me know. Send me an email, and or I monitor the club repeater a lot. Call me on the repeater, or you can contact one of the other MMARSI members. We try as best we can to pick up the equipment. We usually get I have a truck, a couple other members have trucks, and we'll come by and pick up whatever we need to pick up. Consignment items that we take, I mentioned that's a 20% we take. We will provide donation letters if you want a tax donation or tax deduction, excuse me. Our treasurer will provide a letter, and like places like LDG and the others, we give them, a letter so they can take the donation off their taxes. And as I said, we are a chartered nonprofit, so the deductions are illegal. The grant process is really not that difficult. Basically, you just contact one of us. You can contact me, like I said, via email or whatever. If you have a request for a donation, we're always looking for places to donate money. One of the things that I've been searching for is the WM3M WinLink RMS node is very active and very much used. If there are any other locations that any of you think that one of those would be a good place to do, that just let me know. The key things there are, like at the NRC, it's high and it's tall and good coverage, and we also have internet there. We get a free internet service there. So those are the two things we need for an RMS: is a reasonably high location and something that's accessible, and also internet. So, but we will provide all the other equipment. In fact, we've got kind of several packages here already kind of put together, not really put together, but available if we come up with locations for more RMSs. And the one at the WM3M-10 gets used a lot. So and also, if you ever detect any problems with that, just let me know so I have remote access to bring that back up. And everything we do, as I mentioned multiple times, has to in some way relate to emergency communications. We rarely turn down a request. Once in a while we do, if we can't somehow make it, apply to emergency communications. But, if it's ham radio, then it supports emergency comms. I mentioned this already. We will pick up equipment. We will sell it. It's free for MMARSI members, and a 20% donation is requested for non-MMARSI members. And these are just some suggestions, excuse me, on how you can help. More information about us. I won't go through all these. Any donation is appreciated, and it will go to good use. Obviously, we like ham equipment because that tends to sell quicker and easier, but we pretty much take anything. One of the other things that I haven't mentioned is becoming a MMARSI member. There's no, there's no dues or anything. You just volunteer. The only stipulation if you want to become, excuse me, a MMARSI member is, we'd like you to help out in some way. I think there's a couple, the MARC members are also MMARSI members and, able to help in either, supporting the auction, helping us maintain or install equipment, picking up stuff, shipping, warehousing, something like that. We'd like you to help us out. That, and because there are some benefits from being a MMARSI member, so we're always looking for new members. We have that's probably in here somewhere that I might have either missed. I guess not. We meet once a month, usually twice a month, or we meet our business meetings are the last Friday of the first month of the quarter. So in other words, next Friday, we're going to have a business meeting because it's the last Friday of October. And then we have informal meetings, get-togethers at the end of the last Friday of every month. Those really, we don't do a lot of business. We just get together and talk about things and kind of catch up. Here's some email addresses. Our phone number, that phone number is actually routes to my number. So if you want to call, you can. My email on the bottom, and then these are all emails off of the website. Okay, I think that's it. I try to be as quick as possible, and if there's any questions, hopefully that was understandable and whatever. So any questions for anyone?
Yeah, I have a question. So every once in a while I do get an email from a spouse or relative of a silent key, and they're offering to just donate all the stuff that they have. I mean, sometimes I think that they've done it with the intent of donating it to Mark, but we don't always have the wherewithal to, handle that kind of stuff or do something with it. I mean, we can't necessarily always use it. We already have a storage issue. Should I possibly be referring them to MMARSI then, to you at MMARSI?
Yes, that'd be fine. We basically are pretty much, we'll take anything. And if it's sellable, we'll sell it. But yeah, like I said, the easiest thing to do is just let me know, call me or send me an email, and we'll arrange for pickup.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Anything else? Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm curious, how many members do you have?
Right now, I think it's about 42 members, I think, the last count.
Oh, very good.
We have one thing I didn't mention. We have members in mostly Maryland. About half of those are Mars members. The other half are hams. We have members in Virginia, members in Pennsylvania, but majority are here in Maryland, local. But we have from the kind of the general area, we have members from just about everywhere. So,
yeah. Can I ask you a question about WM3M-10?
Yeah, go ahead.
So do you run the latest VARA software, narrow and wide?
Yes, I try to. I try to keep up on that. So yeah, my intention is to keep it current. I haven't checked it, I must admit, in a few weeks, but it was updated, I think, and I'll probably get the version numbers wrong. I think it was like 4 dot something or whatever. So yeah, I try to keep the version. It's my intent to keep it up current. And if you ever notice that it's not, just let me know and I'll take care of that. So
yeah, it's a great site. I mean, I kind of use it as a reference. I can compare, 2 radios with the same antennas from the same spot on my deck. I can compare the performance. So I use it as a reference tool, comparison tool. And it's very sensitive also.
yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Okay, well, Tom W3TDH has a question.
A comment, really. You mentioned 440 site. And one of the things that's great about 440 is you're not up against symbol rate issues if you're using packet. You can go to high-end 9600 packet. You're not allowed to do that down in 2 meters. So that's just something to throw in the mix for your consideration.
If we do that, our intention is to make it, the Vera wide and also the 9600. So we would use a 9600 baud radio. The only little complication that we're kind of sorting through now is the antenna. If we would want to install an additional antenna up on top of the NRC, we need to go through the process of getting approval for that. We're trying to figure out a way to add 440 to our current. We have a commercial 2-meter antenna that we use, and we think it might be possible to add 440 to it, but we're not, without actually going up there and testing it, we're not sure yet. So that's, we are trying to work on that. It's just, I'm not, the 440 and the Vera, high speed is more complex. And, since I try to maintain it, I need to learn more about that before we move forward with that. But we are trying to work on that.
Okay, great. Are there any more questions for Emory? All right. Well, Emory, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have such a terrific organization, and I know you must be very proud of all your good work. I know we're very appreciative of all your good work. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And it's a good group. We have as much fun just getting together and working on stuff as we do anything else. So it's a good group. I appreciate that.
Great. Okay, well, so that's it for this evening, unless there's any more questions or comments. All right. So thank you again, Emory, and good luck with all your good work. And if you ever need anything or there's any way we can help, please let us know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So are there any objections to adjourning the meeting? Okay, so the meeting is adjourned without objection. Everybody have a great evening, a safe week. This is 73 Alex W3JAG. Good night, everybody.